Sunshine's Corner, brought to you by Pensacola Parks and Recreation.
And good morning, everybody. Good morning. It is Monday, a brand new week. Your Sunshine, you step right into Sunshine's Corner. I trust that you had a wonderful weekend. I'm sure you did, because this was Mother's Day weekend, and I'm sure you did something absolutely phenomenal with your mom. And of course, I got to say this. Let me say thank you for everybody who came out on Saturday night, as we had a great time with gospel singing there at Pensacola High School Auditorium. Thank you so very much for everybody who attended, and all the hands that were put together to make that show a total success. I greatly appreciate that from the heart. Well, you know, when you step into Sunshine's Corner, we're going to be talking about things that are so important and that needed in the community, I do believe. And today, it's not going to be any different. We're going to do the same thing. I want to remind you that you can be a part of the show. You can call us up at 850-432-7768, or you can text your questions in as well at that same number. But I'm not going to delay any longer, because we've got a lot of information to go over this hour. I want to welcome in my guest today, Mr. Kenny Daggans. How are you?
I'm doing great. Honored to be here.
Thank you so much for getting up early. Come on out so we can get this information out to the community. Yeah. Because I see with what you've given me, we've got so much information that we want to start off with this introduction of you and what you do for the community, what you have gone through to get you where you are today, Kenny. So let's just start from there. Just tell everybody a little bit about you.
Okay, my name's Kenneth Daggans. I'm actually from Gulfport, Mississippi. I moved here to Pensacola about 7 years ago and had a trouble run here. And as many would know, they have a Escambia County Community Drug Court here. And I ended up successfully completing that drug court program, and it changed my life for the good. Gave me a chance and opportunity to utilize my purpose in life, and started a youth advocate program for at-risk youth development and called gang prevention.
Right.
And in the process of doing gang prevention, many lives have been saved. Great results. Yes.
Absolutely. And I see here is reform, recovery, and redemption.
Yes.
I mean, those 3 R's right there.
Yeah, that's from the heart.
That is straight from the heart. Now, tell us, when did your addiction start? Let's start right there.
My addiction actually started at the age of 14. At the age of 14, I was like any other kid with high hopes and aspirations in life, wanted to be an athlete, wanted to go to the military, but of course those dreams were shattered, unfortunately, because of drug addiction. And when I came into the midst of drugs, I had no idea what the epidemic had already produced in the community. And if it's safe to say, can I say the drug of choice?
Yes.
Okay, the drug of choice that I was confronted with and presented was crack at the age of 14, and we all know that that was the number one most addictive drug in the history of our America. And my mind, being such a young mind, not even developed yet, happened to come in contact with something like that right there. The struggle was hard. It was hard to survive, not knowing or understanding what I was surviving from. So I had to put forth more effort just to have any type of
Absolutely. And why we're doing this, everybody, because I've been talking to people that's been educating myself as well, because we were talking about drug awareness was this month, and then we had the fentanyl addiction day was last week, and I think that once we get the knowledge that we need from somebody like yourself who have gone through and got the reform, the recovery, and the redemption, that message right there can help someone in the community that's really just like when you were a 14-year-old kid.
Yes.
Right? Now tell us now, just take it from the 14 years up and tell us just a little bit of, was it a game?
Yes. Being an addict, being in the streets, being homeless, living in abandoned houses. I shouldn't have been living in no abandoned houses, but being an addict, the things that other people had, warm homes and food on the table, I forfeited that. I couldn't go home to assess those type of things, so I had to be a survivor in the streets, in the jungle, so to speak. And being out there led me into joining an organization, which was called the Gangster Disciples. And at the time, when they accepted me, they accepted me and gave me a place to live, and giving me a place to stay kind of helped pushed me through life and giving me that type of security and protection that I needed as a little kid, being addicted to drugs and not understanding the darkness of addiction at that time.
Right. And I want to say, with that experience with you, I'm sure that taught you a lot, because I still I'm looking at the final result, because I met you several years ago.
Yeah.
And I look at that, but I have been following you, and the passion you have in it to make sure, because you can help somebody not to go down that road that you went on down that road yourself, right?
Yes.
And I want to commend you on those steps that you've already done and still doing.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome. Now, walk us just a little bit briefly through the incarceration.
Okay, in the incarceration period, at the age of 17, I was sentenced to 20 years. And the viewers can find my whole transcript of my sentencing in Daggans versus the state of Mississippi, because I did an appeal. Fortunately, I didn't win the appeal, but I did the appeal, so they able to get a layout and see everything that I was incarcerated for. I was just like any other kid that was lost, doomed, no vision, no identity, just in the streets trying to survive on a day-to-day basis. Landed me in prison for 20 years.
My God.
And I served, out of those 20 years, I served 17 years in the Mississippi State Penitentiary.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, let me ask you something. Just say this for parents who are at home, and I know I was one of those kind of mamas that was hovered over my child.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? But are there things or signs that they can see that you would, just kind of tell the parents some things that may look for to see if their child may be headed that way or doing some of those things?
I think in the process of being able to identify with kids that has been introduced.
That's the word, maybe introduce, yes.
Yeah, to gangs, drugs, or what have you. The first sign of the first sign of them rebelling is because they are confused about their identity now, because they have came into contact with something that's more attractive than just being at home, the normal familiar. So understanding the circumstances that they have became attracted to something else, it confuses their identity as an individual. And having that identity crisis can cause confusion, conflict, mistrust, and misunderstanding with the child, because they have no idea of who they are logically.
Wow.
Yes.
That is so amazing. So I say that because, sometimes with rebelling, you know how well with the kids, how they get, don't want to do this. No, mama. No, dad, I'm not going to do that.
Especially when the thing they're being asked makes sense. See, when they lose their self-consciousness, the things that make sense, that used to make sense, don't make sense no more, because the attraction has allowed them to be rebellious and be be in the streets freely. So they lose that type of identity within themselves. And losing that identity can be hard on the child. It's not hard. The parents would begin to think that they have done a bad job as a parent, but they have not done a bad job as a parent. It's just that when the kids get involved and be attracted to a certain situation, they become rebellious on their own. It's not that the parents have done a bad job.
Good, my Lord. I mean, so parents, just keep that in mind now.
Yes.
Because, like children, and they can hide a lot of things when they want to.
Exactly, yeah.
They can hide it.
That's another form of rebellious, because they can hide it, because they want to keep it. So in the process of them trying to keep it, and if you can't take it from them, then show them how to be productive in it. That's the approach. Say
that again.
When it happens, and you can't reach them by trying to go against what they want to believe in and what they're attracted to, then take the initiative opportunity to try to show them how to be productive in it.
Oh my goodness.
By asking them, son, daughter, what do you stand for?
Okay.
Because if you know what you stand for in it, then you know how far to go, and you won't go where it's unnecessary to go.
Wow.
But you can still have what you have, that belief system, and you can grow in it and develop in it. Because I'm only doing for them what I wish somebody would have did for me.
Oh my God. That's something else. And I noticed that you said that you were incarcerated for, 17 years?
Yes, 17 years in the Mississippi State Penitentiary, and I did 8 years in solitary confinement. So I became a spokesman for juvenile at-risk development, whereas juveniles was being incarcerated in closed confinement for too long. And being incarcerated in closed confinement for too long can cause a discrepancy in their mind, in their thinking, and they become repeated offenders. So they are trying to logically do away with segregation for youth offenders. I did 8 years in solitary confinement.
So solitary confinement is what?
Locked down 23 hours a day. It's just like being on death row, but we are not on death row, because in the prison system they got a thing called security threat group, and that's for gang leaders, in which I had became a gang leader for the Gangster Disciples. I became a commander, but I didn't come a commander to promote warfare. I became a commander to make a difference in the efforts of trying to teach each individual how to be a better individual by making a necessary transition in their life from old to new. And in the process of making that transition, they will be able to identify who they are as an individual, so that they can bring substance to the organization and not promote violence.
Oh, man. Oh, God, this is so interesting. Now, listen, if you've got questions, you want to be a part of this conversation, believe me, you can do so by calling 850-432-7768, or you can text us at that same number, because I'm getting information now that's absolutely, I think, is vital for the community. Vital that we know these things, because as you see, we find so many crimes every day that we hear. You wake up, it's something different every day. You know, and I think that with this knowledge that we're receiving, my God, this can be something powerful that can be used. You know, we've got Mr. Kenny Daggans here with us today. So stay close, we're coming back, and we've got more information for you right here on Sunshine's Corner.
Empire Truck Sales, located at 2255 West Detroit Boulevard in Pensacola, is your Freightliner, Western Star, Detroit Diesel, and Cummins dealer for Northwest Florida. Open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., Saturdays and Sundays, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., providing sales, service, and parts. Empire Truck Sales is also your Oasis dealer for Freightliner custom chassis RV and motorhome repairs. Running I-10 will get you in.
Many who consider facial plastic surgery are concerned their results will look unnatural. But with over 20 years of serving the Pensacola community, his thousands of satisfied patients have made Dr. Derek Jones a trusted reconstructive and facial plastic surgeon known for industry-leading results that look natural. Call 850-484-FACE to schedule a consultation at one of our locations in Pensacola and Gulf Breeze.
I'm Dr. Derek Jones. Trust your face to a facial plastic surgeon.
Lloyd's Glass and Correct Calibration Services is a one-stop shop, because you can come get your windshield replaced, and right behind that replacement at the same appointment, we will calibrate the cameras, and when you leave, everything's ready to go. There's no need to go to the dealership, or there's no need to come back for another appointment. We just take care of it at one time. We put the customer first, and we strive to do everything right the first time.
Lloyd's Glass and Correct Calibration Services, your one-stop shop with same-day service.
Animal Allies is looking for volunteers, and there are many ways that you can help. From taking care of cats to using your computer and social media skills, any and all assistance is greatly appreciated. We have morning and afternoon shifts every day, or help at adoption events. You can even foster a kitty at home. And it counts towards community service hours for bright futures. Find Animal Allies Florida on Facebook and Instagram, or go to aaflorida.org/volunteer.
And welcome back to the hottest spot there is. We're talking about Sunshine's Corner here at Blab TV. And I'm one that just absorbs information, because I know that I'll say this, and people are going to realize I say this often, because I do know that once you receive the knowledge, knowledge is power.
Yes.
And you know, I want to go back to something, Kenny. You said that you were incarcerated for 17 years.
Yes.
Now, during this time, how many years did it take you to become a leader? A
gang leader? It took actually 5 years. My determination and my persistence in wanting to be a leader was very evident, because being a follower from somebody that didn't have common sense to lead, then every action that they would call for me to pursue would be for their benefit and not for mine. So I had to put myself in a position to be the benefactor instead of allowing them to benefit from my actions, attitude, and my behavior, because it was the value of my work that would make us grow and develop, but it to be done the way that I wanted to be done, because I wanted to teach others and give them an identity, a true identity of who they are, because being stereotyped as being a low person or scum or something like that. That's because an individual don't understand that we have concept, ideology, rules, policies, and regulations that we have to go by in order to be a successful organization. We're not just radicals, and when people promote violence, rob, stealing, and killing, they do that on their own time, and they do that on their own will.
Right.
That's not what's obligated by an organization.
Okay.
By people coming together, we teach education, economic, political, and social development. And our every action, attitude, and behavior must always vividly reflect the positive and dignified principle our life is built upon as individuals, and take advantage of our incarceration while we're confined. And
Okay, and what I'm saying is, because right now you're telling me that even while you're incarcerated, you had the opportunity to build a gang leader.
Yes.
So you chose to be that leader to lead them in a positive direction.
Yes.
I didn't realize that I've seen on TV when I watch Madea. When, you know, when Madea go to jail.
It's different. It's real life.
Okay.
And building a person's mind brick by brick, you have to understand that I'm building a radical mind. I'm building a rebellious mind. But giving that mind, giving that individual identity, it helps lightens the load.
Right.
It helps lighten the load so they can understand by their identity who they is and the value and the worth of their life, and not forfeit their life by committing a senseless crime and not understanding or recognizing the consequences from committing that crime. I mean, it makes sense when we think about it. The only person that will commit a crime that will put them away for the rest of their life would be a person that has a very significant chance of identity crisis. But if we have programs that offer that allow a person like myself that have been down through there to teach these individuals who they are as people, then they would think twice before going to commit a senseless crime on someone that would cause them to be put away for the rest of their life. Because I have had that experience when guys have met me in the jail and said, I wish I'd have met you 90 days ago before I committed the crime I committed, because they realize now that it wasn't worth it, and they regret that they did it. But it's actually too late. But I said, don't give up, because it's really not too late, because something that you have to offer, it may be where you're going, or somebody to save, or just being placed in a position and an opportunity to help build somebody once they figure out who they are.
Wow. Let me ask you this. May I ask what was your crime?
Aggravated assault.
Okay. And wow. So when you say aggravated assault, okay, I'm a little green.
Yeah.
Tell me what that is.
I shot somebody.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Wow. But look at the recovery.
The recovery, reform, recovery,
and redemption.
What's different about me being in an organization is that I bring recovery, because there's some brothers that want to be free. There are some people that want to be free. But if they would continue to listen to the person that gives them direction, the direction that they're giving them is only benefiting the person that's giving the direction. But if these people understand that when you have an identity now, and when you know who you are, and you can be positive, you can be productive in your ways, your actions, attitude, and your behavior to make a difference.
Right.
Because that's what I do as a reformed gang member. And
Go right ahead.
So when I made the front page of the Pensacola News Journal, this just more evident proof that we do change.
Right.
This is evident proof. That's the front page of the Pensacola News Journal, November the 25th, 2018. It say former gang members aiming to break the cycle. They able to identify me as a reformed gang member and break the cycle of at-risk youth incarceration.
Right. And
to make the front page on that day was very powerful, because that's the most important day of the year for the Pensacola News Journal.
Okay, I got you. That's amazing. I see you work a lot with Rodney Jones.
I work with Rodney. Man, he's a great guy. I started off with him. He gave me my first opportunity here in Pensacola, Florida, because he's directly engaged in the youth life in trying to change and make a difference for them. He's very serious, and when I learned a lot from him, and that's why I continue to be have became more successful in my efforts and my journey. I have a 501c3 nonprofit organization, my own. I'm the founder, Daggans, and it's gang prevention. I used to have the building at the Lexington Terrace Center, but due to COVID, I ended up losing that building.
Right.
So at this point in time in my life, I'm working on just getting me another building so the kids and the youth, the parents, the adults can have somewhere to come to get this vital information that I have to offer, and to also start a youth assisted living facility program for youth that's coming out of lockup that don't have nowhere to go because their parents may be in the bad times or going through hardship, and the kids don't have to be forced back into that environment to cause them to pursue
go back
greater criminal.
Exactly.
life.
But you know what? I as I listen to Kenny, and I'm listening at your testimony
Yes.
of what you have gone through. I'll say this to the parents who are watching, sisters who are watching, cousins, whomever. This information, what I love about it is the reason why I harp on that so hard, because of my love and my care for the kids, for the community. And how can you teach them unless you got somebody who knows what to teach them?
That came out of that darkness, that
Right.
was knee deep in that darkness. You can't get no more deeper than being a 14-year-old crack addict, but able to come out of there, being in an abandoned house at 14 years old, pushing a crack pipe, trying to get that last hit, sweating, and don't know what to do, don't know where I'm gonna get my next meal, and I have to survive through those circumstances, but it was necessary. And when I continue to read, study, it obligated me to understand the fact that even when I read about Apostle Paul, he said the Lord enabled him into ministry because the things he did in life, he did out of ignorance and unbelief. I said, that's me. So I was able to get some inspiration from reading how he became in ministry. You know, I was inspired by that. I was inspired to see a person that was almost, you know, I'm almost just like that in this reality, different from that reality then, but it gave me motivation that I could change without being condemned.
Took the load off my lips.
Yeah, it takes the load. You know, it said there's for no condemnation to those that seek a better way in the spirit and try to be make a better way for themselves and what they're doing as far as purpose. Because once that vision woke up in me, I was consistent in pursuing it.
Absolutely. Do you sometimes believe that? Well, I do. Sometimes God allow us to go through certain things.
Yes.
To take us to.
He said that when I read, to my understanding, that I don't put struggles before you to cripple you. I put struggles before you to build you. And when I read James, it said, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptation, trials, and tribulations, and welcome that, because being built in that manner, it strengthens you as you continue to grow up the ladder to build yourself. Because like I said, I spoke at the Mississippi State Capitol. I'm the first Reformed gangster disciple to speak at the Mississippi State Capitol building for gang reform. When they was doing the prison reform rally in Mississippi, they called me to speak inside. But that next day, everybody, the rappers, the celebrities, they spoke outside. And then Jay-Z and his Rock Nation ended up suing the Mississippi Department of Corrections because of the condemned things that they was living. If you look on YouTube, you can see the violence that erupted in the Mississippi State Penitentiary, and it's real bad.
Oh,
it's very bad. And
did you say Jay-Z?
Yes. And he just did on June the 17th, on the A&E network, they did a segment called, a documentary said, Exposing Parchment. So I will be on season 2. They did season 1. I will be on season 2.
Oh, listen to this, y'all. We got a star up in here. What you talking about?
Yeah.
No, I say that because, you know, sometimes people don't want to reach to get this information. Don't want to have you on the platform to share your story. But that's what Sonshine's Corner is all about. We are going to make sure whatever we can do to make a difference in this community, to get the knowledge out.
And when I've proved to be 6 years clean and sober, no cigarettes, no alcohol, and no drugs, and I'm consistent in going to meetings, and I encourage parents, loved ones that have people that's in the struggle, still sick and suffering, to go to the meetings and listen to people when they share, and those people can be a help to them to help transform the mind of their loved ones. They can go find sponsors for their loved ones to try to help bring them out of darkness and out the street.
When you say a sponsor, now I've heard that on Medea, I've heard that on Law and Order. A sponsor does what? A
sponsor helped me when I first came into recovery. For the first year, which is the hardest year to be off drugs, to be relieved of that obsession of the streets, the mentality and everything like that. A sponsor that has already accomplished what you're trying to accomplish help us understand the necessary steps, the 12-step program. And the 12-step program enables us to know that when our lives is unmanageable and we have to admit that we have a problem and not live in denial, now we can move towards help. And instead of being resistant towards that, we're able to make a willful decision to turn our life and our will over to the care of God as we understand him, not having no obligation but opportunity.
Oh my goodness. Listen to that. This is information that's all needed. So powerful. You know, I want to say this, Kenny. I think I met you, oh God, a long time ago, with a friend of ours both that has transitioned.
Yes.
But I say that because I have watched you since then.
That was my sponsor.
Really?
I was in sponsorship at that talent show.
Yeah.
That was my sponsor. That's why he was taking me with him to show me another side of life, to bring me out of the darkness into the light of things, and to meet people like yourself and other people. That's what I was in sponsorship then. He was my first sponsor. And the thing about him as a sponsor, bless his soul, he do not sponsor anybody. When he heard,
I know, John.
When he heard me speak, when I was in the beginning and I was trying, he heard me speak. And he came and walked past me and tapped me on my shoulder as he was walking past me, courtesy. And I knew then what it was, and I asked him, because that's how you get a sponsor.
Goodness.
You have to ask a person, would they be your sponsor? And he showed me how to begin the steps in recovery, which was necessary for me. It was necessary for me to get clean because I have all this intel information within me that having a clear mind, it just enables me to release it.
Of course.
And carry the message by having a spiritual awakening. By having a spiritual awakening. Say a person that was on crack at 14 would never have got off drugs. But as a result of the 12-step program, I had a spiritual awakening. And once I had that spiritual awakening, I started reading. It's saying the man that is in Christ.
He's a new creature, right?
He had become a new creature. The old thing had passed and the new have come. So this is the new identity of me. 6 years clean and sober. No cigarettes, no alcohol, and no drugs. It's because I put opportunity over obligation.
That's what I'm talking about. Well, answer me this. How do you have fun?
How do I have fun?
What do you do?
Fun. I have fun by serving. I have fun by serving. I have fun by engaging in the community with the people, getting them to understand, who is this guy? What is he coming to do? You fit to see. You see? And yeah.
You know, I say that because some people think, I got to go to the club. You know, I got to do all this good stuff. I got to go out here. Because you have to change the people you hang with.
That's right. I had to conquer. Where it said in the word that we are more than conquerors. And I had to receive that spirit to be a conqueror because I was overcoming so many things that had took my life for so long. I didn't get clean until I was 42. And I started smoking crack at 14. I didn't get clean until I was 42. Yes.
Oh my goodness. So I mean, how is that now that you have gone through the rehabilitation, and thank God for the good friend John Tate that took you and sponsored you and walked with you, because I know John, okay? But I say that even today, are there times that you have to really fight that urge?
Yes.
Does it hit you hard?
Yes. The urge hit real hard. And it have hit so hard in the past to where it has took me right back down those dark roads in them alleys. And I realized what the problem was. The problem was I was substituting one drug for another. I wasn't smoking crack, but I was drinking.
I got you.
And when I was drinking the beer and the alcohol, it had me lightheaded, which lowered my resistance. And when my resistance was lowered and that feeling came, I couldn't fight it. But just as soon as I choose not to use alcohol, these 6 years has been the most successful years. When that urge come on me, I just want to strive more in my purpose now instead of balling up and curling up in my despair.
Oh my goodness. That is absolutely amazing. That's strong too. And with the help of God, you can do anything.
With the help of God, it's impossible with man, but all things are possible with God.
I mean, this is some great information. Let me say good morning to, I think you said Triple L has texted in to say good morning. Good morning, Triple L. I want to say good morning to you, Eddie Snell. I know that you're all tuned in. Thank you so very much. And of course, I want you to stay close. I'm going to talk to you about Play Pensacola, the Park and Recreation. They are one of our great sponsors now. Thank you so very much. And look, they've got movie week coming up. I'm going to tell you about all the activities that you can be a part of right here in Pensacola because they have programs for the kids. You know, school's going to be out here soon. So you stay close. I'm going to tell you even more about that before we leave so you can do some things with your children. I'll let you know how to do it right here at Sunshine's Corner. Need a new outfit for a special occasion? Look no further than Viola's Men's Apparel. Viola's has been providing the latest styles and accessories in Pensacola for over 20 years now. We have clothes for every occasion and we offer consultations and group discounts. You can trust that our care, quality, and class will be unmatched. Viola's Men's Apparel for all of your menwear needs.
This is Wayne at Icon Automotive in Robertsdale, Alabama, and I wanted to tell you more about our powertrain warranty forever. It comes with any vehicle we sell that has 80,000 miles or less at no additional cost to you. We put our vehicles through a tough safety and mechanical inspection before it can have the powertrain warranty forever, giving you a peace of mind with your purchase. This warranty is good anywhere in the country and it covers 100% of parts and labor with no mileage limit and is covered as long as you own the vehicle. Come pick out your dealership car at non-dealership pricing with the powertrain warranty forever at Icon Automotive.
Watch a new episode of Crime Stoppers Wanted Fugitives every Friday at 6 p.m., hosted by Sergeant Melanie Peterson and David Craig. Your tips may be eligible for a cash reward, featuring items about officer training, various aspects of police work, and crime prevention information. You'll hear about upcoming family-friendly engagement events as well. Don't miss Crime Stoppers Wanted Fugitives every Friday at 6 p.m.
Hi, my name is Brett McCabe. This is my wife Tanya, and we're the owners of Pensacola AC and Auto Service Center.
From the moment you walk in the door, we are here to take care of you. Honesty and excellence are the standard of our team. Our goal is to give you peace of mind from oil changes to AC repair. All of our repairs come with a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty. We have a clean, welcoming waiting room with free Wi-Fi. When you leave here, you will have peace of mind. Come visit us and experience auto repair from people who care.
And welcome back to Sunshine's Corner right here at Blab TV. Well, listen, I just want you to be aware of something. I'm not a meteorologist, but I can tell you this. I just got an alert on my phone that we are under a severe thunderstorm warning now, and winds are expected to be up to 80 miles per hour. So look, do what you got to do. Check on the elderly, number one. Make sure everybody is safe because, you know, it happened here the other night where it got really bad. I walked out the next door, went down the street, the trees had been blown down.
What?
Really? But that just came across my phone, and I just want to reiterate that. Check on the elderly. If they're at home alone, somebody you know that's there alone, make sure you check on them. We're expecting some winds up to 80 miles per hour. That's tornado winds right there. So be careful about that. But we got to go back and talk to my good friend Kenny right here that's with us today. And he's sharing some important information that's vital, I believe, to the community. Because with it is such a time as it is, how things are, I cannot say thank you enough for getting up on this Monday morning to come out to share your story and all the things that God has allowed you to do to make a difference right here in Pensacola.
Yes.
I appreciate that. And we were talking off screen. Do you travel out to detentions?
Yes.
And
yes.
Well, tell us about that.
One of the blessed opportunities I've had in my road to recovery and in my redemption is being able to travel to detention centers. Normally, like in the county jail in Escambia County, because I have a previous record, they don't allow us to go into the jails. But
Why?
it's a different, because I have a record. But if a man have a record, regardless, if this man had turned his life around and he got this type of experience and knowledge and wisdom, that he can go into them jails and have the same type of classes that people are having that they're really not learning from, because I was in there and have prevention classes with guys like myself, like Mr. Rodney Jones, like other advocates in the community for the youth, for the adults, then it would make a difference.
Wow.
Gratefully make a difference, because we can manifest a certain type of teaching that others can't, even when they take the uniform off. how deep can their teachings go because they never had this type of experience. They never been a crack addict at the age of 14. Now, I'm not idolizing that or nothing like that. It's a very sad thing. But what it has done was giving me information in these days and times when it's so harsh, when the drug epidemic now is even worse than it was then, that we have information on how to lead people into recovery, reform, and redemption.
Absolutely.
We have the knowledge, the wisdom. We have the motivation that they will look towards us and they can relate to us because I'm a person just like them.
Listen at this. I heard you say that there was a rejection there that you couldn't go in to do.
Yes.
Do you run into rejection where sometimes people, and I know they do, they categorize?
Yeah, they do. Only the county jail.
Okay.
Only the county jail have a system that's set up to where they don't allow people in there to go and talk to even, like if I wanted to go in there with my Cocaine Anonymous group, I couldn't go in and do H&I because of the fact that I couldn't go in there and help teach because of the fact that I've been incarcerated.
Right.
They call it intervention. They call it heading and intervention, helping somebody that's incarcerated. And by me not being able to go in, that's lack of knowledge that they able to obtain. But in the detention centers, it's different. I travel to different states going into the detention centers, helping the young kids and growing there. And when I tell you, I went to the Naval Station Air Force Base here in Pensacola on Corfield Road. Went there 3 times. They love it over there because the first thing I asked those kids before I started speaking, I said, I want each one of y'all to stand up and tell me what it was 15 of them in there from ages 13 to age 18. I said, I want each one of y'all to stand up one at a time and tell me what you stand for.
Nobody could do.
No, they couldn't do it. Everybody started looking at each other. They was confused. I said, that's exactly what I needed, you see, because in these 2 hours that I have to speak, each one of y'all will know when I finish who you are, what you stand for, and why. And each one of them start raising their hand one at a time. Mr. Kennedy, can I stand up and tell you what I stand for?
I got you.
And even the supervisors there, the people that was over the program said they ain't never seen nothing like that before.
That's beautiful, but you're doing something and you're consistent with it.
Very, very consistent with it.
When you have children, or should I say, when you run into obstacles that are difficult, and I know how people are. Sometimes people like to, because put you in a category.
Yes.
Or say, no, I don't want to be around him. I don't want to do that. But do you run into things like that? Because I know that you got to.
And I'm gonna tell you what helped me out with that.
What?
What helped me out with that was when I was reading and I was studying, because I had to educate myself by the inspiration of self-help. So when I listened to Martin Luther King, when he said, I have a dream, he said he had a dream that his kid would not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the contents of their character.
Right.
So I had to advance my integrity, and
Your
become
intelligence to go on.
Yeah, so I can be a person of character. So judging me by my appearance would not be good, because it would take away from what I have to offer. I've been given a gift to offer what I have and to give it away. And what's the thing about recovery, the way that we keep it is to give it away. So I'm not limited to who I'm willing to share with and who I'm willing to help. It's just that sometimes we are characterized as people that's of a different category.
Right.
And one shouldn't do that, because we have the necessary experience, we have the strength, and we are the ones that bring the hope.
Come on, man.
And that's what I've been doing for 6 years. I've been consistent in my meetings. If it's safe to say, I go to Cocaine Anonymous. I have been going for 2 times a week for 6 years. Everybody in there know me. It's guys that's been clean 20 years. It's ladies that's been clean 20 years. They are in those rooms. I encourage the parents. I encourage the loved ones that have loved ones that's in the streets in darkness, that's sick and suffering and lost, that's on drugs, and they don't know what to do. It's to find those rooms and go in those rooms like scouts and just sit around and listen to the people share, because we're going to share. And when you see something or hear someone that you can relate that could help your loved one,
right,
step to that person, introduce yourself, and say how you doing. Because 3 things that we are in recovery: we are honest, open-minded, and willing to share and give away what we have.
Listen at this. Now, I want people to realize this too, because there are people who are affected or addicted, should I say, to drugs, whatever choice it may be. It can be lawyers, doctors, anybody that get caught up sometime in these things that you wouldn't think that they do it, but they do.
Yeah.
Do you run into things like that with people like?
Yeah. Doctors, lawyers.
Get out. I mean, but I'm saying that to make a point.
I know.
That some people think, oh no, it's just the young kids out here that's out in the street that's loose that's doing it. Wrong answer.
That's the wrong answer. That's the wrong answer, because see, the things that they're being taught to do, it's the things that they're going to do.
Absolutely.
And when somebody teach them to do things that's wrong, it's for their benefit. It's not for the benefit of the individual. Like me being in an organization, me being a gang leader, in the institution, in prison, if I'm on the front line and in warfare, I got to be on the front line and my life is going to be at risk to get took. Then why would I allow somebody to go and disrupt things and make war when he's not going to be on the front line? He's going to be in the back. So he's going to not do what he's used to doing.
Right.
He's going to refrain from that, and order will be stable and restored.
Right.
Because where there's no order, there's nothing. And you have to teach these guys the basic knowledge of what they should know, which is called structure. And the structure is so necessary because it said we believe in the visions of our great leaders, and through their vision we can become a reckoning power of people beyond bounds without measure, which is a special group of people with integrity and dignity. We teach these type of things in the organization, but if the guys don't know that structure, they'll be lost continuously. So when I came to Pensacola and seen the gangs here, they are strong, they're intelligent.
Is it that many here?
They have situations. They have quite a few situations. So that's why I birthed gang prevention, to be able to be a one to give the structure to them, to try to help save them from a wrong direction, and try to fuse something that's productive in their lives to teach them how to be positive and productive. If I'm in City Hall with the mayors making the front page of the Pensacola News Journal, and if you go down and if you go down and see my history, if you Google Kenneth Daggans gang prevention in Pensacola, Florida, you're finna see all type of productive stuff. Well, I've been with people in political seats. So I want to encourage the guys that's lost out there that didn't know that there was another way, that there's another way to be recognized as who you are.
Okay, do you see that the young people today think because of the things that they see on TV, the rappers, and that everybody can have the big money, and I can do this, and that fast life, because that quick money.
Another thing that another reason for me to be able to display my identity is to show that all the things I have, I didn't have to sell no drugs to get it. By inspiration and walking in that faith, and observing my community, and allowing my purpose to walk with me, but allowing my pain to be before me. Because if I base the foundation of my purpose on that pain, I can win, because there's nothing that can compare to what I had to go through to get where I'm at today.
You are today. Now, can I ask you a question? Have you ever been shot before?
Oh yes. I've been shot 4 times. I got shot right here in the neck, right here in the shoulder, right here in the arm, and I still got a bullet in my right leg. And I got hit right here in the eye with a pistol on a dark night in the alley, in crack houses and stuff like that, in those crack alleys and stuff. There's violence there, that it goes with the territory. But to survive through it.
I'm sorry to say, you survived 4 times being shot?
Yeah, right here in the neck, right here in the shoulder, in the arm. And the bad thing about it. Was
that the same time?
Yeah, at the same time.
Oh, Jesus.
But the thing about it is this: 7 days later, I was out the hospital and right back in the crack house.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I have to.
Because of the addiction.
Because of the addiction. So I have to say that, and I'm not ashamed to say it, because there's therefore no condemnation to those that seek a betterment of themselves. And for the purpose that I strive for today, I want them to know how low I had to go in order to be raised up to where I'm at today. Because I'm 6 years clean and sober. No drugs, no alcohol, and no cigarettes. So something got to work. And that's what I'm trying to get the people to identify with. It's not how it was, but how it is.
There you go. Not yesterday, but today.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. And I see you are really basing your strength through the Word of God.
Yes.
That's your foundation.
Yes.
I've noticed that you have used a scripture to acknowledge everything that you're going through.
Because it started with the Word, and the Word was with God.
Come on now.
And He gave me the opportunity to learn it, because He said in Luke 21, I would give you words and a wisdom that not even your enemies or your adversaries could resist or contradict. So I'm not sitting here on my own, but I'm allowing the Spirit to speak through me as I'm sitting here speaking to you.
Isn't that beautiful? Whew, I tell you, Kenny, I stutter when I get stuff like this because it's so powerful, it's so needed. But please, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere because we've got more to talk about. We got to go into a commercial break, but when we come back, I've got some more questions, and Kenny got some more information you're going to share with us right here on Sunshine's Corner.
I just remembered it's election day. Are you going to vote?
I don't know. I don't think I'll have time today.
Millions of eligible voters in America never make it to the polls or even register to vote. When you don't vote, you're letting other people make decisions for you and pick the things your taxes will pay for. Voting is more than a civic duty. It gives you a voice about the priorities and the future of your community and our nation. Voting gives you a seat at the table.
Do you want to create but don't know where to start? Our new fabric line will inspire you. If you can dream it, we can help you make it. From using kits that include everything you would need, to taking classes to create something more personalized, Daryl's is the place for you. No matter if you're just beginning or experienced, Daryl's has you covered. Find us at 6705 North Davis Highway. Open 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday and 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturdays.
The Reesburg Institute, Pensacola's Ear, Nose, Throat, and Voice Center. We welcome you to visit us at our convenient Davis Highway location in Pensacola. At the Reesburg Institute, we offer the most advanced treatment available in a calm, stress-free environment. Since 2014, we've performed over 1,000 cases in office of balloon sinus surgery, as well as septoplasty and nasal procedures using oral sedation. The in-office procedures result in a faster healing time. Visit us and feel the difference.
Hello, my name is Eric, and this was my first visit to Little John's. The selection, the pricing here, and the customer service were outstanding. I would definitely recommend. The staff was very friendly, and they'll get you what you need.
Hi, this is John with Little John's Big and Tall here in Pensacola, Florida at 5700 North Davis Highway. Check us out at littlejohnsbigandtall.com, where we can take care of you with extra large up to 14X and large tall to 6X tall.
I tell you guys, I'm so into this conversation we're having. Please get in this conversation with us at 850-432-7768. You can call or text that number. You can ask Kenny any question that you want to ask Kenny. You can ask me. I can try to answer it. I can tell you Kenny can answer it. But we were talking off camera about your recovery, your experience. Come on, tell everybody what you were telling me.
I was telling Sonshine about my experience that at one point in recovery, I met this guy that he confessed it, that, you know, one thing about recovery, it allows you to make confessions. And listening to me speak time after time after time, he recognized the adequate of my recovery and how real and genuine it is with me, and how I've held on to it, how I've not allowed myself to fall back on hard times and fall back into darkness. And this person stepped to me because this person needs the same love that I was able to obtain. Because one thing in recovery, we're able to love you until you're able to love yourself.
And he was of another race.
He was of another race. He was a white guy. And he admitted to me that he didn't like blacks. But he had to make an exception when he heard me.
Come on now.
And he came to me and he shook my hand, and I humbly shook his back. And I was able to provide the calmness and the same love towards him that I was able to receive, and he hugged me. He said, "Thank you, brother," because he was once a person that didn't like blacks, but by him confessing to me already, humbling himself.
That number one, by that confession.
Already, by that confession, yes. And I was able to embrace him, and he was able to embrace me, and I became a part-time sponsor for him. He was able to call me, "Hey, Kenny, man, how you doing?" But and he would start crying because he was taught different.
Real tears?
Real tears, because he needed to be healed so bad because he was losing his family. He was so mighty in his community, in the white community, but he fell victim to the same thing that I fell victim to. And that put us in the same rooms together, because normally we wouldn't even be in the same room as each other because of our race and our identity. But because of our addiction, it put us in the same rooms together. and we needed the same love, and we needed the same consideration. So I humbled myself, I embraced him, and I accepted him. And I wanted to offer and give him not just the love I got in the experience, but even more, so that he can take that same experience back to the guys that he are familiar with and let them know, hey man, I met this black guy,
come on,
you know, that was able to help me through my circumstances. And to this day, it's been 3 years, and he hadn't had a drink.
Come on
in 3
now.
years.
But you know what I want? You know, sometimes people will try to. You said something when, just like with the family, they were trying not to. They were covering it up, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But when you see certain things, and that question that was in my head is how we don't want to accept the fact and acknowledge you know what you see. You see what that person may be doing.
Yeah.
And instead of adhering to getting that person help to pull them out of that world, you sit there and allow that to happen. Say, okay, it's gonna be okay. You know, he's got this, or he can handle that. Do you see sometimes people do that?
Sometimes, yeah, people do that all the time because they don't understand what to do. It's beyond their limited imagination as a human being on what to do, because drug addiction is a monster. It's bigger than all of us. It's a Goliath, just like David had to face. And I had to face that Goliath by myself. No mother, no father, no family. I had to face that Goliath, and I had to overcome. So I was just like David with a slingshot, because I was walking into this thing all alone in Pensacola when I had no family. I had no opportunity. I had nothing. I had to build everything brick by brick by brick, and that's staying consistent in doing the things that's going to help change, reform, and transform my life. I don't think the same. I don't think the same. I had to change the way that I think. It said, be not conformed to this world, but be ye changed by the renewing of your mind. So if I wanted to do different, I had to think different. I had to change my people, places, and things, and I had to mean it. I had to be honest, I had to be willing, and I had to be open-minded to the opportunity. Anytime my effort is low in life, it's because I'm probably not looking at the opportunity. I'm looking at the obligation. So that's how a lot of people fail in recovery. It's because they look at the obligation. I got to do this so this person can accept me, so I can get back inside my house, so I can get my family can accept me. No, look at the opportunity that you can share, like on television or in other programs like myself, your experiences, strength, and hope, and that purpose will wake up in them. And once that purpose wake up, they're going to protect that purpose just like a mother will protect her child.
Absolutely. Listen, does it happen like this sometimes, Kenny, when a person who's, let's say if they're addicted to marijuana, do they, and marijuana you can become addicted, right?
Good question.
When you addicted to marijuana, does that little high want to get a little higher? Then you'll move over to crack, get a little high. Is crack and cocaine the same thing?
Yes, it's just different. It's just
Forms
different
of it.
chemicals.
Okay.
But what you just said make a lot of sense. That's a great question, and the way I teach that is to watch who you puffing after, because sometimes being high on a drug and with somebody that we trust, they may have became instituted by something that has overtaken them, and if they have ill feelings, they could take that marijuana cigarette and lace it with crack without the person knowing that it's laced, because they trust that person. They're not using a second eye to watch that person. Now the person that's fixing to indulge and engage in this
thinking he's just doing marijuana.
Thinking they're just doing marijuana, now something done happened. Yes, that feeling is like no other. Now, yes, and they did not get it because they asked for it, but because somebody that they trusted
gave it to them.
Because that person, it had been done to them.
Really?
Yes. So that's why I say watch who you puffing after. Just be cautious and be conscious of what you're doing when you're doing it. Sometimes if you got to do it, have your own. Because when you go to exchanging with and changing with other people, you never know what you might be getting. It's very important.
Get out of here.
Yes.
Because I've often wondered, you know, because like now, Kenny, I can walk down the street. When I'm walking down the street, just got a contact eye.
Yeah.
I mean, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere. And then by the legalization, I mean, you know, it plays a major part in it. And again, some people need it, you know.
Health-wise.
Health-wise and stuff like that, of that nature.
But do sometimes they just get that card and don't really need it?
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay, I'm just saying.
And I'm just grateful that I didn't have the need to have it. Even when I had shoulder surgery, I didn't take the pain pills, the narcotics. I took ibuprofen. I had a surgery on my roller cuff. I had to get my roller cuff.
So you won't go get the pain pills either?
No.
Oh, because that's addictive.
They can they can be, and the possibility is that you never know when that time may be. So I don't take that chance, because I know where that road leads. That's how serious I am about my identity. See, my identity and my purpose enables me to be structured the way that I'm structured.
Exactly.
In reform, redemption, and recovery.
Exactly. Now, how can people get in touch with you? How can they reach out to you, Kenny, that they need help?
Okay.
We got about a little bit over a minute.
Okay. My email is Kenneth Daggans, KENNETHDAGGANS 74@gmail, and my Facebook page.
Yeah, go to that Facebook.
Is Kenny B. Daggans, KENNY, initial B and Daggans, DAGGANS, and they can get my whole history of everything that I've done.
Absolutely, because I tell you, I watch him. I mean, I followed him on a lot of stuff. I see when you do your speeches on there, your inspirations and all of that. But I want to thank you for coming in today.
You're welcome.
I mean, don't think this will be the last time. No, okay? Because the information that you have shared today is absolutely great.
I have so much more.
Exactly, and that's why we're going to have to get you on again.
Thank you.
Because I thank you for doing that.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And I tell you, everybody, as we say every single day, when you want to hear the truth, don't be afraid. Because we're going to share, this is a safe place for you, right here, to share your truth on Sunshine's Corner. I got to leave you now. It's been a great day. Time ticks so fast when you're getting out and having a great time. But I'll leave you as I do every single day, friends. Never, ever, ever lose your focus. Always remember, keep your focus, keep God first, and I'll guarantee you that you're going to be a total success. So until tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock for another day of nothing but the best right here at Sunshine's Corner. Know that I do love you with a perfect kind of love, and always keep shining while I'm gone. Thank you so much, Kenny, for being with me today.
Welcome.
You have been a blessing to the community.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Until tomorrow, enjoy the day. Be safe outside. There's a storm on the way, but you got sunshine with you right here at Sunshine's Corner.
Sunshine's Corner, brought to you by Pensacola Parks and Recreation.